Live from the news hub here at Adesawe Kanda, I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Date. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal, EcoBank.
Tonight, Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, shuts 60 facilities as crackdown on substandard healthcare continues across the country.
And also coming up tonight, Minority on Energy Committee demands immediate removal of 1 cedi fuel levy, citing rise in fuel prices caused by the ongoing US-Israel war in Iran.
And later in the bulletin, 5 out of 6 families who lost loved ones during the first phase of the military recruitment find replacements, with 1 family yet to provide a substitute.
Later in business news, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, assures strong forex buffers to withstand Middle East shock as Bank of Ghana cuts policy rate to 14%.
On the international front, Iran says it will take decisive action after its South Pars gas was reportedly hit by Israeli strike. You're live around the world on 3news.com. We are also streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so be a part of the show.
We begin from the health sector, and 60 health facilities shut down, over 100 sanctioned, and the agency behind it says this is only the beginning. Ghana's Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, is ramping up its crackdown on substandard healthcare across the country, and it wants the private sector's help to go further. Deborah Abamensa has more in this report.
Leaking roofs, unqualified staff, facilities operating without a single license. These are not isolated complaints. They are the documented findings from the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA's nationwide inspection drive. In 2025, the agency sanctioned over 114 health facilities, closing 60 of them. Those that have since made the required corrections are being gradually reopened. Those that have not remain shut. The acting registrar of Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, Winfred Kolete-Ba, was blunt. For years, some facilities got away with opening their doors before even applying for a license.
There are a lot of facilities that start before they even come for license. It's an offense to start operating a facility before you get a license. Now, our monitoring and regulatory oversight is getting clearer and broader. We've expanded our capacity across the country. So currently, we're able to enforce compliance around the country, and it's helping.
Beyond shutting down hospitals, HEFRA is tackling another crisis quietly choking Ghana's hospitals: overcrowding. The agency is pushing facilities to adopt bed bureau management systems, a relatively low-cost tool that tracks available bed spaces in real time.
Managing the bed in the hospitals, even if there are few, will create adequate space for emergencies. And then once we have that, we can have communication with other facilities and even the ambulance services. So during the referral process, people know the actual bed state, and then they are able to determine where they should go with each case.
But enforcing all of this comes with serious limitations. HEFRA currently has offices in only 10 of Ghana's 16 regions, with only 4 of those offices equipped with vehicles.
We lack vehicles. Our work is on the field. We need to go from facility to facility. I must say that so far, Ghana Health Service and some of the other stakeholders have been helping us, and the Ministry of Health has been helping us with vehicles when we need to go out, and we commend them so much for that.
At a stakeholder engagement in Accra, health facility managers said they are noticing the changes.
Before, sometimes information dissemination has been very, very challenging. Licensing has been challenging. Sometimes you put in your request or you put in your details and the rest, and it will take years even for inspection to come on or to happen. But for some time now, I think that is not so bad.
HEFRA insists compliance is not just about enforcement, it is a collaborative effort.
Let's go on to some other stories now. The Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau has appointed seasoned investigator Captain Paul Fojo, retired, as the lead investigator in the Sky Arrow microlight aircraft investigations. The Bureau further cautioned against social media commentaries questioning its capabilities. George Craning picks up the story.
The investigator looking into the microlight aircraft that crashed on Monday, March 16, has issued an update. According to the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau, they've gathered all relevant preliminary data to commence this very investigation. But they say it is too early to ask for timelines.
We have up to a month. If we are not able to finish, then we'll get the general public know that this is how far we have gone. By investigation, we don't have time limit for investigation. It's just that after a month, you come to tell the public what you have done so far.
The Bureau also cautioned against social media commentaries relating to aircraft accidents in the country.
The social commentators, things that they do, they should please tone it down, reach out to us if they need anything, because we have all that it takes to do this. We are in charge, and we have what it takes to do that.
Meanwhile, the Bureau has appointed seasoned investigator Captain Paul Fojo, retired, as the lead investigator in this very case. George Quinning, TV3 News, AIB Ghana, Accra.
From April 1, Ghanaians are expected to pay slightly less for electricity and water following a new tariff adjustment by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Electricity tariffs have been reduced by about 4.8%, while water tariffs will go down by just over 3%. But while this may appear to bring some relief, energy think tanks say the reduction is not enough and are raising concerns about how the tariffs are determined. Christabel Success Trevor has more.
For many households and businesses, utility bills remain one of the largest monthly expenses. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, in a statement issued on March 13, said effective April 1, electricity tariffs will go down by about 4.81%, while water tariffs will reduce by 3.06%. The PURC attributes this to improvements in key economic indicators, including a relatively stable exchange rate, lower inflation, and changes in fuel costs used in power generation. However, the executive director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Nsia, argues that the current adjustment is too small to make a real impact compared to previous increases in utility tariffs.
I don't subscribe to such a lower tariff decrease because the expectations was that based on the macro and the market-driven indicators, tariff should have been decreased by at least 11%. Normally, tariff are projected into subsequent quarters. However, in this tariff announcement, the PURC decided to use historical data, which the consumer had already paid for these historical data.
On the streets, opinions are mixed.
The utility bills and then the water bill, I say that the maximum amount has to be how they brought it to us. It's nice price, and then the way it is, because first we used to give us do so and light out. By now, we thank our ECG management and then the ECG project people for giving us the maximum limit of how the ECG bill and then capacity it is.
It's not also what here. I mean, we know you're in traffic. Also, to the
The PURC maintains that its quarterly review mechanism ensures tariffs reflect current economic conditions while balancing the interests of both consumers and utility providers.
We appreciate the concerns, we appreciate the suggestions, but what the Commission has announced has taken into consideration the interests of even the consumer, the expert themselves, and the interests of the Ghanaian consumer and the interests of the utilities. So we are very confident that the amount of reduction that we've announced is sufficient enough for both the Ghanaian consumer and also the public utility service provider.
General Manager for External Communications at the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, Dr. Charles Ni Ayiku also weighed in.
The tariff reduction has a direct impact on our revenue as a company. You see, for most customers, the reduction is welcome, but it's quite modest. There's a difference, but many consumers may not immediately feel it strongly because the fixed service charges remain unchanged.
While the reductions may offer some relief, their overall impact will become clearer in the coming months as consumers begin to see changes in their bills. Christabel Success-Trevor, TV3 News, Accra.
The minority on the Energy Committee in Parliament has demanded an immediate removal of the 1 cedi fuel levy, citing the rise in fuel prices caused by the ongoing US-Israel war in Iran. According to the caucus, Ghanaians have been placed under unbearable strain from multiple fronts as fuel and energy costs continue to climb. Meanwhile, the World Bank officials have made fresh commitment to Ghana's economic growth during a visit to leadership of Parliament.
In the face of current external shocks like the war on Iran, the minority wants government to come to Parliament under a certificate of urgency with a new law to repeal the 1 cedi fuel levy.
If the guarantee has been restored, and if the cedi is no longer shielding consumers from levies impact, then the justification for the 1 Ghana cedi doomsday levy has completely evaporated. Keeping it is not policy, it is punishment. We call on government to immediately amend the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025 under a certificate of urgency to repeal the 1 Ghana cedi doomsday levy forthwith.
Collins Adumaku-Mensah also indicated that the reduction in utilities by about 5% by PURC is not enough.
The warranted tariff reduction for the current period should have been, and I repeat, should have been no less than 10%. Our own analysis of the full year 2025 data concurs. We call on the PURC to urgently review its methodology using verified actual economic data to implement a corrective adjustment that delivers genuine relief, not less than 10% to consumers in Q3 of 2026.
Officials from the World Bank, led by the Managing Director, paid a courtesy visit on leadership of Parliament on Wednesday and pledged their commitment to Ghana's economic growth.
We as a majority, we don't blindly approve things brought by our government. Even though we have the numbers, we are not shielding our ministers. We are holding them accountable.
So much less is being invested in agriculture. And it appears government is so much into this gold board thing, using gold for reserves to stabilize our currency and all. We see it as a bubble. It cannot be sustained.
The World Bank Managing Director said they will continue to enhance their relationship with the country in all sectors.
And this is why we have put in place, along with our colleagues in the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office of the United Kingdom, a programme of funding to support capacity in 5 parliamentary committees. And we are very committed to looking at how we can maintain this relationship and also strengthen it in the years and time ahead.
The NDC says it is not going to abolish the teacher licensure exam. Now, the reform they have introduced to Parliament, which has been adopted in a new regulation, is that they are going to incorporate the teacher licensure exam into final year examination for teacher trainees. What it means is that before one completes school, they would have written the licensure exam already. Under the new regulation also, untrained teachers will not be permitted or allowed to write the teacher licensure exam. Christian Yali, TV3 News, Parliament.
And away from Parliament, the Accra High Court has rejected an attempt by lawyers of the former National Signals Bureau Director Kwabena Edubuahene to tender the 2020 National Security Budget obtained from the website of the Finance Ministry after state prosecutors objected to same. Early on, the prosecution's second witness, that's the head of finance at the National Signals Bureau, admitted to the court that there were no findings or complaints from the National Security about a missing 49.1 million cedis. Lord Idwasari reports.
During the cross-examination of Edith Ruby Edumwa, head of finance at the National Signals Bureau, the prosecution's second witness told the court that she did not have a cause to report a theft of 49.1 million cedis from the National Security. She acknowledged that, as a result, she made no complaints to the Attorney General, the police, or the Auditor General about any missing money. Samuel Atachia, lead counsel for Kwabena Edubuahene, then sought to tender into evidence the 2020 National Security Budget under the Minister of Defense, which was obtained from the Finance Ministry's website. The witness had earlier noted that the 49.1 million cedis was part of the annual budget prepared for the then BNC department. But Principal State Attorney A.C. Dentayanka, leading the prosecution, objected to the tendering in of the document. She argued that the document tendered was a hard copy and not an electronic copy, noting that Electronic Transaction Act refers to transactions made online. Justice Achibonga then upheld the objection, ruling that the document did not qualify to be an electronic transaction document. Samuel Atachia, lead counsel for Kwabena Edubuahene, after the proceedings, spoke with the media.
Prosecution witness is just being factual. There's no way you can improve upon the facts that I would have. And there's nothing that we put across which is not from the prosecution, itself. A challenge was being lodged against the document, the paper document, which is on the website anyway. And what is sad that the lady identified that it was from the Ministry of Finance, and also it related to the budget of BNC.
Kwabena Edubuahene and his wife, Angela Ejay Boateng, have been charged with multiple offenses, including stealing, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering regarding a 49.1 million cedis cybersecurity software deal for the national security. The case continues on March 25. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Lawyers of Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, have filed a preliminary objection to the extradition proceedings initiated against their client. The lawyers argue that per the UK and US Extradition Treaty of 1931, as well as the Extradition Act 1960 being enforced in Ghana, the charges leveled against Abu Trika are not extraditable offenses.
Abu Trika has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering involving an $8 million romance scam in the United States. He is said to have duped elderly US nationals and, by request from the FBI, is to be extradited to answer for the alleged crimes. But the lawyers of the 34-year-old entrepreneur maintain that neither wire fraud nor money laundering is expressly listed as an extraditable offense under the 1931 Extradition Treaty, and that the inclusion of the conspiracy is limited to specific categories that do not apply in this case. Lead counsel Oliver Bakavomawo in the court document is of the view that Ghana cannot rely on more recent domestic legislation to expand the treaty scope, insisting that extradition must strictly adhere to the offenses agreed upon by the two states. The Gbese Circuit Courts will rule on the preliminary objection on Wednesday, March 25. The court's decision on the objection will determine whether the extradition proceedings can move forward or face further legal challenges. Meanwhile, a group of aggrieved youth from Swedru gathered at the courts demanding the release of Abu Trika. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's now go to the Ahafo region, where the Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, has commissioned the first High Court complex at Goso in the region. The inauguration is part of judicial reforms to promote effective justice delivery and bring justice closer to the people of Ahafo.
The first High Court complex situated in Goso, the capital of the Ahaf region, was funded by the Asnafo North Municipal Assembly through its share of the District Assembly Common Fund. The new court building includes a registrar office, judge's chamber, docket rooms, offices for bailies and recorders, a courtroom, a cashier's office, a store, a general office, and other facilities. The Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafoboni, who inaugurated the facility, noted that the establishment of the High Court is an important step toward bringing justice closer to people at the grassroots level. We should not see the unveiling of this court as an opportunity to bring all cases to the court. Give alternative dispute resolution the chance, because court is expensive.
Because court is expensive.
The Afro Regional Minister Charity Gardner called on chiefs and judicial staff who will be posted to the court to ensure proper maintenance to protect the facility for future generations. And the Goso Mahima Nanefia Sewa also called on judges and lawyers to support the Chief Justice.
5 out of the 6 families who lost their loved ones during the first phase of the military recruitment exercise have found replacements for their deceased relatives. The remaining family is yet to present a substitute according to the military high command. Joseph Armstrong has filed this report.
Thousands of hopeful recruits thronged the Airwak Sports Stadium in Accra for a chance to be recruited into the Ghana Armed Forces. But just hours into the exercise, chaos erupted. A stampede broke out, leaving about 18 people injured and 6 others dead. The incident forced authorities to suspend the recruitment process in the capital, Accra. Months later, the process has resumed, with about 2,000 applicants now cleared to report for training. Naval Captain Veronica Ahin is the Director of Public Relations for the Ghana Armed Forces.
This exercise is going on in all 16 regions. And this is the first time ever that this process has been sent to the doorstep of applicants. In time past, some recruitments applicants start from the region, but they needed to come to Accra at all costs for either the medical phase or the vetting phase. But for the first time, all this has been done at the regional level.
5 of the affected families have since offered replacement slots following the tragic loss of their relatives.
We had more than 18 people being injured last year, but those who have recovered and meet military standard, it's not everybody who can join the military. So those who meet our medical and military standard, 18 of them are part of this first batch. I believe others, the other injured, when they recover fully, they will also be given the opportunity to join. And yes, 6 people died, but as we speak, 5 families have been able to get replacements that meet our standard. So the 6th family, I believe, as and when they are ready, they will get us a replacement.
For those who failed the medical screening, the Ghana Armed Forces says all hope is not lost, as they will be given another chance after addressing their health conditions. The Military High Command is warning the general public to be cautious and avoid paying money to individuals who promise to facilitate recruitment into the service. Joseph Armstrong, Good TV3, Accra.
In more news tonight, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Jumfor, says applications into security services should be free. His comments follow recent concerns with over 500,000 applicants applying for just 5,000 positions, a situation the president has now addressed by directing the slot be increased to 10,000.
The GJ has been monitoring discussions on the ongoing recruitment exercise into the various security services across the country. The association commends the government of Ghana for its effort to address youth unemployment by expanding recruitment into the security agencies. However, we observe with concern the extremely high number of applicants, over 500,000 young people competing for approximately 5,000 positions. The Ghana Journalists Association cannot fathom why young and energetic patriots who are willing to dedicate their life to serve their country in the various security services are made to pay simply to pick up recruitment forms. This practice is neither appropriate nor healthy for our democracy. Somebody who cannot even afford 3 square months, who is struggling to even survive, so the person should pay and buy form to be able to serve his or a nation. It's unfair. Maybe it has been an acceptable norm or practice. We have accepted this norm over the years, but the time to end it is now. Going forward, successive governments must do away with the practice of compelling individuals who wish to serve in the security agencies to purchase forms that do not guarantee employment, especially given the overwhelming number of applicants.
President John Dramani Mahama has welcomed home a 54-member engineering contingent deployed to Jamaica to assist in recovery efforts following the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa in the Caribbean.
Originally planned as a 30-day humanitarian mission, the operation was first extended to 60 days and eventually to 90 days, as the scale for the destruction caused by Hurricane Melissa became clearer. The Ghanaian contingent undertook electrical wiring and other critical repairs. They also rebuilt schools, hospitals, government facilities, and private homes, many of which had been severely damaged. During a ceremony to welcome the troops, President Mahama presented a citation to the contingent in recognition of their exceptional service and contribution to the recovery efforts.
Your performance has brought honor not only to yourselves and your families, but also to the Ghana Armed Forces and to our dear nation, Ghana. Although the mission thankfully recorded no loss of life or injury, it demanded sacrifice, endurance, and an uncommon sense of duty. You left behind your homes, your families, and the comfort of familiarity to answer a call of service beyond our borders. That willingness to serve humanity, even in distant lands, reflects the highest ideals of military professionalism that the Ghana Armed Forces is noted for. You were deployed on a mission of humanitarian assistance and international cooperation, and I'm pleased to say that you have fulfilled that mission with distinction.
The president also commended the commanding officer, Colonel Emmanuel Asa, for what he described as exemplary leadership, reflecting the professionalism and high standards of the Ghana Armed Forces. Joseph Armstrong, Good TV3, Accra.
As the world prepares to mark World Oral Health Day, Pepsodent is stepping up efforts to promote proper dental hygiene with the launch of its Do the Two campaign. Management say the initiative aims to encourage Ghanaians to brush their teeth twice a day to prevent oral diseases and improve overall health.
For over 2 decades, Unilever Ghana, through its Pepsodent brand, has played a leading role in promoting oral health across the country. Through school outreach programs, free dental screenings, and sustained community education, the brand continues to drive awareness on proper oral hygiene. Managing Director for Unilever Ghana, Chris Wolf-Caesar, explained that there are continuous efforts to sustain ongoing initiatives.
The Ghana Health Service is one of the widest and most trusted healthcare networks in the country, with health workers serving communities across every region and district. Through this partnership, we are able to integrate oral health education into existing community health outreach programs.
Oral care brand manager at Unilever Ghana, Glenn Abraham Ampoma, said the Do the Two campaign is designed to instill simple but effective oral care practices among Ghanaians.
Do the Two simply meaning Ghanaians should remember to brush day and night, whilst we overact the importance of brushing at night especially. We are trying to equip Ghanaians and then equip frontline health workers across the country with basic oral health hygiene to cascade to members of communities and then Ghana at large.
The president of the Ghana Dental Association also noted that initiatives like the Do the Two campaign strengthens Ghana's effort to improve oral health.
Unilever has done this great initiative where we have free consultation on a toll-free line where you can call us individual dentists and dentists of the Ghana Dental Association, and we're able to give you advice on what to do as a front line for your dental problem, and then also to refer you to a dental clinic if there's the need for that.
The event saw students from selected schools, parents, representatives from the Ghana Health Service and the Ghana Education Service advising parents and guardians to instill proper oral health care practices in their children.
Blochem Industries, producers of Bell Beverages, has made a donation to the National Chief Imam as part of activities marking the Eid al-Fitr celebration and the end of the holy month of Ramadan.
Head of Marketing at Blochem Industries, Magnus Day, said the donation reflects the company's core values of compassion and support, which also aligns with the spirit of Ramadan. He noted that the Muslim community has been a strong supporter of the company's products over the years. He further emphasized the importance of the National Chief Imam as a spiritual leader whose guidance has continued to inspire and unite Muslims across the country.
As a company, our values align perfectly with the values that our Muslim community demonstrates during the fasting period. These values include love, commitment, sacrifice, discipline, and as a company we associate with things that are important to promote our values. Another reason is because the Chief Imam is very vital during moments like this. He's the figure that supports the poor and the needy.
Receiving the items, the National Chief Imam expressed gratitude to Blochem Industries for the kind gesture. He offered prayers for the company and the Muslim community, adding that the needy will benefit significantly from the donated products.
In this month, the Quran was revealed. This kind of your donation, your kindness is going to be helpful to a lot of poor people, those who have fasted.
GB Foods Ghana, producers of Gino and Pomo tomato paste, has made a donation to the National Chief Imam as part of activities marking the Eid al-Fitr celebration and the end of the holy month of Ramadan.
Media and digital manager for GB Foods, Yabuna Dankwa, said the gesture reflects the company's appreciation for the continuous support it receives from the Muslim consumers across the country. The company emphasized the role of the National Chief Imam in providing spiritual leadership and guidance to Muslims in Ghana, adding that the donation is intended to support his efforts in helping the community celebrate Eid al-Fitr.
We also understand that the Ramadan celebration is coming to an end with the Eid festival, and so we took the opportunity to come here as a company and as GB Foods to bring some donations in terms of products to our Muslim brothers and sisters. We know that during the entire month of Ramadan, during Suhoor and during Iftar, our Muslim sisters and brothers have used our products in preparing their various dishes. And so we understand the importance of good meal and good nutrition during this time. As the Ramadan draws to a close, we know that they'll be cooking more meals and they'll be cooking more various dishes during the celebration that's on Eid. And so we are here with some products for them to use in preparation of those meals.
Receiving the items, the National Chief Imam expressed gratitude to GB Foods Ghana for the kind gesture. He offered prayers for the company.
That which you have done will be a source of great blessings that will come to you. Especially on a day like this. Within the period like this, that we hope of the coming of a special auspicious night we call Little Qadr, the night of power.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. We have business, sports and entertainment coming up. Do stay with us.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and retains teeth naturally.
Convinced? Well, I am. Just look at
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Coming up, Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama says Ghana has sufficient foreign exchange reserves to cushion the economy against potential shocks from the escalating tensions in the Middle East. Against this backdrop, the Bank of Ghana has moved to support growth by reducing its policy rates by 150 basis points to 14%.
29th MPC press briefing in Accra, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, assured that Ghana's external position remains strong enough to withstand shocks from rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East.
The good thing in all these is we've accumulated enough reserves, nearly 5.9 months of imports cover. That should allow us to protect the gains going forward. But we are monitoring the situation, and the MPC is ready to act if we need to reevaluate the situation once again.
The central bank has also taken steps to support economic activity, citing improved macroeconomic conditions and a stable inflation outlook.
Despite these upside risks to the inflation profile, the favorable domestic macroeconomic conditions, and also the high prevailing real interest rates, these provide scope to ease the policy rate further.
Meanwhile, Dr. Johnson Esiama highlighted progress in the banking sector, indicating that efforts to restore capital adequacy across institutions are nearing completion.
For one of the two, they may have to be given some little extension, but eventually we do expect that before the half year, at most, all two banks will also be able to recapitalize, and then we can move forward.
The latest MPC update reinforces cautious optimism about Ghana's economic outlook, even as global uncertainties persist.
Now, as part of its ongoing effort to bridge the gap between regulatory mandates and industrial viability, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is appealing to the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, for an extension of the deadline to December 31 to phase out mixed alcoholic and stimulant beverages. While the AGI expressed support for the public health goals behind the directive, it's warned that the current March 2026 deadline poses a significant financial risk to local manufacturers.
At a high-level industry forum on food and domestic tax policies, AGI leadership met with representatives from the Ministry of Finance, the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry to discuss the impact of current regulatory and tax pressures on the beverage sector. The AGI is calling on the FDA to extend its deadline for the withdrawal of mixed drinks containing both alcohol and stimulants from the Ghanaian market by March 31, 2026. President of AGI, Dr. Kofin Siapoku, noted that members have accepted in principle the need to reformulate or withdraw this product.
On the withdrawal of alcoholic beverages with a certain volume, and the second one was withdrawal of energy mixed with alcohol, that we accept the withdrawal, except that we are asking for extension of time to enable manufacturers to be able to exhaust their raw materials to sell in the market.
Industry players argue that the current timeline of March 31, 2026 does not allow sufficient time for businesses to exhaust existing inventory.
Probably if FDA can give manufacturers up to the end of the year, we'll be very happy, so that there's a smooth transition to exhaust all materials, and December 31st can become the cutoff date.
The AGI dialogue with key policy makers was on the theme strengthening public-private dialogue in policy formulation.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
best friend. She's the
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Oreku Ampofo. Now, for the first time since the verdict by the CAF Appeals Committee, which determined Morocco as winners of the AFCON final after stating that Senegal forfeited that match after violating Article 84 in CAF's conduct, the president of the Confederation of African Football, Patrice Motsepe, has just spoken and addressed the issues. And he states that every country has the right to appeal. This comes after Senegal released a statement themselves saying that they would raise the issue to a higher body in the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
The CAF disciplinary board took one decision. The CAF appeals board took a totally different position. And I'm told that, that Senegal is going to appeal, which is very important. Every one of the 54 nations in Africa have a right to pursue their appeals and their advance interests, not only at the highest level in Africa, in CAF, but also the highest body, which is the CAS. And we will adhere and respect the decision that's taken at the highest level.
Still on the issue, and the Royal Moroccan Football Federation has acknowledged the decision rendered by the CAF Appeals Committee on the AFCON final. Now, the federation wishes to reiterate that its actions were never intended to contest the sporting performance of the teams involved in this competition, but solely to request the application of competition rules. And so that is the statement released by the federation. They said that they have compiled the correct procedures governing the resolution of disputes, including submitting its argument and taking part in the hearings to which it was invited. It concludes by saying that they want to help clarify the framework applicable to similar situations in future and contributes to the consistency and credibility of international competitions, particularly African football. They then go on to say that they will advocate with the continental international bodies for the fair application of the rules governing the competition. The federation wishes to commend all nations that took part in this edition of the AFCON. Now, just before we go, let's bring you some updates from the UEFA Champions League, where it was an incredible second-half performance from FC Barcelona, who thumped Newcastle at the Camp Nou in the second leg of their round of 16 tie. That match ended by 7-2 in favor of the Spanish side after Rafinha scored a couple of goals himself. The result means that FC Barcelona qualified to the quarterfinal stage 8-3 on aggregate and now await the winner between Atletico Madrid and Tottenham, who will play match later tonight alongside Bayern, Atalanta, and then Liverpool at home against Galatasaray. You can get updates of all of these games and more on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
Is brought to you by GTP Lifestyled
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil,
powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, prolific lyricist and rapper Manifest has disclosed the last time he filed for nominations at the Telecel Ghana Music Awards. In a post on X on March 17, 2026, the rapper was asked whether he submitted his song Wine Blues, which features Ara the J off the New Road and Guava Trees album released in March 2025, for Collaboration of the Year consideration at the 27th edition of the awards. Responding to the question, Manifest, who has largely stayed away from actively participating in the award scheme in recent years, disclosed that it has been nearly a decade since he last submitted any of his works for consideration. Now to some more stories as the debates over who deserves what at the upcoming 2026 Telecel Ghana Music Awards continues. Ghanaian artist Jackie has sparked conversation on social media with a cryptic message about her recent album After Midnight. In a post on her X handle on March 17, 2026, the Sankofa hitmaker reminded the public that she is the only female artist to have an album in the Apple Music Top Album chart in Ghana. The only album by a female that wins #1 in the country, by the way. I say, make her remind Una, she wrote. And that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko.
And my name is Martin Esiedidati. Thank you for watching News360.
I am Portia Gabo. Good evening.